Hey guys, it's Kevin. I'm here to do the beginner kettlebell workout per special request of Joe and Natalia. We're going to start. It's a very simple workout. We're just going to work through the presses, just the basic variations of the press. We're going to work through the squats, just basic variations of the kettlebell squats, and then we're going to finish up with kettlebell swings. It's not complicated. It's not overly complex, but it's a really good way to just start the kettlebell exercises. Okay, I got 3 different size kettlebells today. I got the 8 kilogram kettlebell, which is the lightest. It is approximately 18 pounds. I also have the medium size, which is the 16 kilogram kettlebell. It is approximately 35 pounds. And then I've got the big whopping heavy one, which is the 24 kilogram kettlebell. Big heavy, that one. I'm going to show you guys everything's going to be, all the presses and squats are going to be 3 sets of 10, just very basic to start out with. And then for the swings, it's actually going to be 5 sets of 20. We're going to do a stretch for the muscle groups that we worked in each exercise, in between each set. So if we're working our shoulders on the presses, we're doing a set of presses. We're then going to do some stretches for our shoulders. And then after we do our squats, we'll do some stretches for our legs. And then after we do our swings, we'll do stretches for our hamstrings. So the stretches plus the exercises. Each one I'm going to show you guys 3 different kinds of exercises that you can do with it. 3 different pressing variations, 3 different squat variations, and then 3 different swing variations. Alright, let's get started. So first things first, I already warmed up. I was out actually jogging and doing some stuff earlier, so I'm already kind of loose. I'm not sweating. I just changed shirts. Outside of that though, if you guys are going to do this, I'd recommend warming up maybe just a couple of light swings, maybe some jumping jacks, just kind of get the blood moving. There's no need to do any extensive warm-up because it's not really necessary. As long as you're not doing a lot of really heavy weight or you're going for like a max effort on something, don't worry about it. So we're going to start with is 3 sets of 10 with presses. In between each one, we're going to do a stretch for our shoulders using a broomstick, which I'll get in the camera in a second. The simplest press is very easy. You take the kettlebell in your hand, you squeeze it. I do not want you guys to leave your wrists like this. I always want you guys to leave your wrists up and down, perpendicular to the ground, or horizontal. Never with your wrist. I'm sorry, vertical. Never with your wrist horizontal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to squeeze like you're arm wrestling. Nice tight grip. You're going to lean away from it slightly, and you're going to leave your elbow below your hand at all times. You're going to drive up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back down, drop the kettlebell, switch it, bring it back up to here, make a nice tight grip, lean your body away from it slightly, keep your elbow under your arm, and once again, keep your forearm and wrist in a straight line. Keep your hand up here. I like to make a fist, but I'm not doing this for the camera because it's a smaller weight. So just press up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, now that we've just worked our shoulders, I'm going to step off the camera for 2 seconds to grab my, my broomstick. And what we're going to use the broomstick for, it's very simple. It's actually a good stretch for your shoulders. Grip wide to start out with. You're going to roll the bar behind your back, roll the bar forward. Do this for 10 reps total. Nice and easy, just like that. If at any time you guys feel a little bit more adventurous, you guys can scoot your hands in. Go closer. I don't know how close I can get on the camera. Let's find out. And just a total of 10. Lost count already, but I think I'm at 8. And there's 9. And there's 10. Alright. Put our broomstick down. Now, if you have a hard time doing the regular press with the kettlebell, stick with the regular press. Don't do this variation. This variation is a little bit more difficult. What you're going to do actually is take your hand and hold it up like you're holding, they call this the waiter's press or a cannonball press. You're going to hold it as if you're holding a tray, or if there's no handle on it, you're holding a cannonball. Same thing, your elbow stays underneath it. Do a little bit more balancing. You're going to press up, come back down. Press up, come back down. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to drop it, switch hands, help it over here. You can set it. Don't try to catch it in case you drop it and hits your toes. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back down, catch it, grab our broomstick again, set a 10, just to get the flexibility in our shoulders and stretch out the muscles we just worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, now for our final set of presses. Once again, I'm going to do an even more difficult variation. If you have a hard time with either the first one or the second one, stick with the first one or the second one until you guys get that down. You can then move to the next level of difficulty, and then you go to the next one. This one here is probably the most difficult grip variation for pressing. It's called the upside down press. You're going to take it here and you're going to squeeze so it stays in a line here. Same thing. Elbow stays underneath it. Make sure you pulverize it, like squeeze it like you're about to try to squeeze juice out of a lemon. Press up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back down. Switch grip. The other one, bring it up. You can help with your other hand if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can probably see it wiggling a little bit. 8, 9, and 10. A quick tip on the presses. We're going to do our stretch real quick, and then I'm going to talk for a second. When you guys have the heavier weights, if you can use the 8 kilogram for all 3 variations of the press, you're probably strong enough to move up to the 16 kilogram. Use the 16 kilogram for the beginner variation of the press. Once you get that down, move up to the waiter's press, and then move to the upside down press with the next size weight. Okay, so we're actually done with the press. It's the simplest kettlebell exercise. It's that simple. Lean away a little bit, push it towards the ceiling, bring it right back down. Keep your elbow underneath it. Don't let it wiggle all over. That's about it. The squat is just a little bit more difficult, but the way to learn it actually is very simple. I actually have a milk crate with me here. All I'm going to do to teach the squat is just pretend that you're sitting back onto a chair. Your feet are shoulder width apart, your chest stays out, and you're going to sit back with your butt until you hit the chair, then you're going to stand back up. So the simplest squat variation is with the chair. I'm going to do 1 set with the chair. That's the most beginner variation. Then we're going to move the chair out, and then we're also going to go to a more advanced variation after that for the 3rd set of 10. Same thing as the press. If you can't do the more difficult variations, stick with the beginner variations until you can. I should probably keep that here. Hold on 1 second. Alright, first one's called a goblet squat to a chair. Very, very easy movement. Take it and hold it upside down, kind of like you're holding a goblet. That's where they get the name. You're holding a cup. Keep your elbows underneath your hands. Just like you do with the press, you always want your elbows to point down. You're going to grip it, stand just in front of the box, and let your elbows touch the inside of your knees as you come down, sit in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keeping my chest up. I'm looking straight ahead or slightly up, and I'm not hunching my back. So that's 10. Now we're going to stretch out our quadriceps, following the motion. Just lean on a wall. I'm sure you guys have done this before. Stretch it out. Hold it for 10 seconds. We'll do 20 seconds on one side and 20 seconds on the other. The recommendation in most fitness journals is to do 20 seconds. Some people say more, some people say less. We'll just play it safe and do 20 seconds. And the other leg. One of the more interesting things said by some Russian strength coaches is that by stretching a muscle in between exercise sets, doing static stretches, you actually increase the muscle activation and the muscle recovery, and thus you will actually have a better increase in strength. So now we're going to go to the goblet squat without a box, or without a chair to sit on. What you'll actually notice, you're going to go much deeper, thus making it more difficult. Alright. Hold like a goblet. Butt goes back just like you're going to sit on a chair, when there's no chair there. Just keeps going down. I keep my elbows inside my knees. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And once again, I'm going to stretch out for 20 seconds on one leg. A quick tip with the heavier bells, hopefully you can squat more than you can press. So I'd really recommend trying to use the heavier bells for the squats. If you can't, that's okay. Your legs should catch up very quickly. The largest muscles in your body are located in your legs. So make sure that you're using lots of weight with your legs. And obviously use lots of weight with your presses too, but hopefully your legs kind of move a little quicker than your shoulders. Alright, now for our more difficult set, I'm sweating already, is we're going to use the, instead of doing a goblet squat, we're going to grip it differently. It's actually going to be a front squat. It's kind of like we're about to press. All I'm going to do now is let it kind of rest on my shoulder. This way I don't have to hold it. It's not going to put pressure on my arm. I'm just going to hold it like this. Do 5 on one side. We're going to switch. Do 5 on the other. Right here. Drop your weight back just like you're going to sit in the box. It's the exact same movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. And we'll stretch one last time. We're now going to go to the swings, which will be the last part of the workout. I'm also going to show you guys one exercise variation that you can do. It's optional. You don't have to do it. But I really recommend doing it if you can. You have the energy for it. It's a very, very good exercise for your upper back, which is one of the areas that by doing presses and squats, you're kind of neglecting. Not completely. The presses will work your upper back a little bit, but maybe not as directly as the rowing motion that we're going to do will. And rows are probably, in my opinion, one of the best exercises you can do for your posture and your grip strength as well. Also strengthen up your arms too, your biceps, your rear deltoid, your lats, all those muscles. So 1 second real quick, I'm going to dab off. And then we'll go into the rows. Once again, 3 sets of 10. There are different variations of this. I'm just going to show you the beginner variation, something to add to your beginner workout. It is not necessary at the very beginning stages. I'd much rather you learn how to press and squat. However, if you have the time, maybe try it. All we're going to do is take the same weight we were pressing with. We're going to lean over. We're going to put our hand on one knee. You're going to dangle your other arm. I don't want you guys to pull the weight up here. It's not a bicep movement. You're trying to activate the muscles in your back. So you're going to take the weight and drive it to your hip. Hold it for a count of 3. And then back. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to switch. You'll feel it in the back of your shoulder and also in the lats, in the middle of your back. Pull it to your hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and like I said, ideally do those for 3 sets of 10. I'm not going to do it in the video, but if you have the time, it's a really good investment in terms of exercises. The stretch for that, by the way, is very simple. It's the same muscle we just used. You're going to point your elbow up in the air, pull it over, hold it for a count of 10, or I'm sorry, 20 in this case. You'll see also if you lean that muscle is going to be stretched a little bit more than the other side. Alright, and 20. Now we're going to go to the swing. The swing is, in my opinion, and in the opinions of almost every kettlebell expert out there, the best exercise you can do for fat loss. It is great for fat loss. There are stories online about people losing literally 100 pounds plus doing just a basic dieting program and kettlebell swings. They're very, very, very good for you. They're also quite a workout. So you might have to start and develop your tolerance to the swing. You're going to have very sore glutes, hamstrings, and probably a little bit sore lower back the first few times you do it. You shouldn't feel a lot of it in your lower back. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to try to teach you guys to do real quick is to make sure you're driving with your hamstrings and your butt and you're not using your lower back extensively. It's a hip driving movement. You're trying to power through with your hips. You are not trying to lift it with your back. So I'll show you real quick. The best way to do this demonstration for the swing is you're going to stand away from the wall and you're actually going to scoot your hips. You're going to stand a little wider than the shoulders. You're going to scoot your hips back until you touch the wall. So I know the camera can't see, but I'm right next to the wall. I'm going to scooch my hips back until they touch. Then I'm going to walk forward again. I'm going to scooch my hip back until they touch. A little bit more. Scooch my hips back until they don't touch. This is as far back as my hips are going to go. The kettlebell goes with, I'm going to leave my elbows on my body, and I'm actually just going to use my hips going forward to drive the kettlebell. So with the kettlebell now, just like the squat, your chest is out, your shoulder blades are neutral, don't pull them all the way back, don't leave them hunched forward. You're not lifting with your arms. Your shoulders should not get tired. You're using your hips to drive the weight. Your elbows stay attached to your body until they are forced up by your hips. So we're here. Once again, I shoot my weight back, back, back. I swing a little bit and then I hike it and I go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start sweating pretty bad at this point. 5, 6, So that was 20. That is the basic two-hand kettlebell swing. Please get that swing down before you try any of the other swings that I'm going to show you here today. Just that swing, especially when you start using the heavier kettlebells like the 16 or the 24, are phenomenal for weight loss. However, I'm going to show you guys in every exercise, the beginning exercise, the intermediate exercise, and the advanced exercise. Hold on 1 second again. Okay, we're going to stretch out the hamstrings now. I'm sure every one of you guys has done this before. It's just a very basic bend over and reach your toes. However, you're going to notice it's exactly what we're trying to do with the kettlebell. I'm not going to hunch my back. I'm going to keep my back straight, my chest out. I'm just going to drop my weight and shoot my butt back. And hold. Just try to relax the muscles that you're working. Whatever muscles you feel driving the kettlebell, make sure you're relaxing those when you stretch. You don't want to keep those tight. Try to get all the tension out before your next set. And come back up. Now I'm going to show you guys what's called the alternating kettlebell swing. It's just like the two-handed swing. However, you're going to be switching from one hand to the next hand at the top. Just like when you swing to here, this is the top of the movement. You're going to go back, or you're going to swing with one hand now. You're going to swing and switch. Swing and switch. Swing and switch. If you're not comfortable switching, you can do 10 with one arm. And then I'm going to switch down here a little bit, and then up. My chest is still up. My hips are still driving the weight. I am not using my arms at all. You should not feel it in your back. And 10. Your hips should be driving. Okay. Hips go back. Same thing if you guys want. Another way you can do this, pretend like you're starting a swing. Drop the weight. Shoot your butt back. And stretch. Just leave the kettlebell down there. You'll feel it in your hamstrings if you're doing it correctly. Another quick thing, keep the weight when you're doing your swings and when you're doing your hamstring stretches on your heels. Your heels never leave the ground. On your squats, on your swings, your heels never leave the ground. And 20. Okay. This last exercise is a long learning curve. The thing I would tell you is make sure that you have the regular two-hand swing down, that you have the single arm swing down, and then that you have the alternating single arm swing down. That's almost 3 variations. I decided to put this one in there though because it's a cornerstone of kettlebells, so I figured I'd show you guys. It's called a kettlebell snatch. It's the exact same in the bottom movement. The drive still comes from your hips. All that's going to happen is when you get to the top, you're going to be switching the kettlebell so that you're holding it up here. The trick with this being is that you're going to have your hand rotated this way. When it's down here, you're going to rotate on top so that it doesn't do this. You don't want it to flip and bang into your arm. That's no good. Simply put, I'm going to do it from the side for these sets so you can see how my arm is turning 180 degrees. Here we go real quick. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you're going to switch, a little half swing. I'm going to switch sides for the camera. Do it again. Here we go. 1. I did that one wrong. That one hit me in the wrist. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After doing the presses, you'll feel those in your shoulders too. That is okay. Your shoulders are already a little tired from pressing. Do our last stretch now, and then we're done with our exercises. Hips go back, drop down for 20 seconds. Butt going back, toes come off the ground, heels stay on the floor. Don't worry about keeping your legs completely straight. I'd rather you guys work on getting your butt back as far as you can. Chest is up. Don't hunch your back. And that is the beginner kettlebell workout. Do it for about 3 weeks, and then you can try one of our other workouts when things get a little more difficult. I'll see you guys next time.